Kia ora ko Alexander Tene. I'm here with my mate Chris.
Good up.
And in this particular video, we're going to be looking at how do we look after ourselves and our wellness as support people who may be looking after one of our bros, brothers, uncles, fathers, so on and so forth that have been sexually abused. This is to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Week, which theme is wellness.
Part of self-awareness is having healthy boundaries,
Yes.
What's in my world and what am I responsible for, and what is in your world that you're responsible for that I may be crossing the fence over to help you with, but that I don't carry all that with me when you go away, that even though I'm coming alongside you as a support person who's had disclosure, it's about actually not just carrying it around all the time and letting it weigh on you. Having clear boundaries around what's in your world, what's in my world, what am I responsible for? But when I'm with you, I'm having empathy around, how can I listen to you and support you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really important is healthy boundaries and being a support person and knowing your limitations. You are with someone who you're supporting.
Yes.
I think be 100% present with them in that moment, holding the space, whatever is needed in that point in time around being a support person. But be clear about when you leave that conversation or situation that it is not something that you're carrying around everywhere, that there's a distinction between being completely present there and not carrying it all around with you. Because I think if you're carrying, it's hard enough for us to carry our own stuff and normal
as people, not even as professionals
it's
or
just
colleagues.
As people. We're people, have our own families, we have our own careers, we have our own issues and dynamics and so on and so forth. That we're multiple pressures that we're dealing with. It's not. I don't think it's healthy to put more pressures on by carrying all that stuff around with you. And I think there's a word for it called enmeshment. And enmeshment is when you don't actually make a distinction between what is theirs and what is yours, and you get them all mashed up, and what it can result in is burnout. What it can result in is just like a bit of a disillusion, and you won't be in it for the long.
Toxic relationships.
Yep. And I think, for me, some of that can come from, it can be hard for you to say no. You've learnt, maybe you've come from a family of origin where saying no might not have been a safe thing, or you felt like you had to do so much and carry so much from a young age. And so I think that also comes back to a self-awareness too, around what your trigger points are, what your weak points are, where you might get vulnerable and certain situations that affect you.
What you might be prepared to work with the bro on, and what might you not be.
Absolutely.
Which is around negotiating relationships. Right?
Yeah. And so it's learning those dynamics of, like you say, negotiating what you can do, not what you can't.
Yes.
I think is a really simple but good saying.
Know your limits.
Yeah.
And be prepared to support people as much as you can, but also be mindful that you're as equally important. Not only for yourself, but for other people. In your life as well.
And I think another thing in regards to taking care of yourself as a support person is carve out days and times where you're clocked off, that you're spending time, like in a previous video we talked about wellness and how do you take care of yourself. I think it's really important, especially if you're a support person, to carve out time to do the things that top you up, to sort of unplug from that line and just really re-energize and re-top yourself up. So when you do re-engage, you're fully present, you're fully there, and you have the energy to give. And that person deserves it too.
And I think to kind of wrap up this video, by you demonstrating your own version of wellness, hopefully the bro will also be able to maybe take on elements for themselves.
It's good modelling, eh?
I think so. I think, having worked with a number of men over the years, often their behaviours they think are pretty much set in stone in terms of how they engage with other people. So when you put things like respectful boundaries for yourself and the ability to look after yourself, what you're actually saying to the bro is, you're important, but I'm also important. This is how I look after myself. And actually maybe these are some of the things that you might want to take on board as well.
Absolutely.
So all right, whānau, happy Mental Health Awareness Week. That's our kōrero talking to you, the support person, around how to look after yourself. We look forward to seeing you in future videos. Thanks, Chris, for being part of this. Take care. Mātua.